Hey IB Environmental students, it's the final countdown to the IB Environmental exam. Here's some information about the test format and some study tips. Please read carefully and let me know if you have questions. Alright, so here's how the IB score will be broken down for this course. This is straight out of the official IB subject guide. So we have about 3 hours of external assessments. That's the stuff you have left over. Overall, that's going to be 80% of your score for the IB exam. You've already done your internal assessments and a lot of other work to help you get in that right direction to score well on that. That was about 30 hours of work you put in. The IAs are overall worth 20% of your IB score. Now look at the breakdown. There are 2 paper tests, paper 1 and paper 2. They're worth different amounts and they're also weighted differently. So paper 1 is shorter, paper 2 is longer, and it's worth more. Let's learn more about them in detail. So for these external assessments that you're going to do in May, they're going to have 2 written papers, as we saw over on the other slide, over 2 days. Remember, the summary of that last slide was that's worth 80% of your final assessment, so just because you like or don't like your IAs, things can change because this is worth a lot more than the IAs. You will need a calculator for these papers. See the graphing calculator? Please make sure you have access to one of those. If you can't find access, let me know. But you really need a calculator. It doesn't have to be graphing though, but they are permitted. So let's learn about the differences between those 2 papers. So paper 1 is a 1-hour morning exam. This year it's going to be May 7th. It will have a short answer section, and most of those short answers are based on figures with data. So graphs, pie charts, all sorts of things that you have to analyze and write short answers for. So those short answers could be anywhere from 3 marks, 1 mark, or even up to probably 7 or so marks, but nothing more than that. Day 2 is a 2-hour paper 2 exam, and it's in the afternoon. It's going to have 2 sections, A and B. Let's learn about section A and B in more detail. Part A is going to have a range of database questions in tons of different forms, but all of those questions are going to be specific to a certain case study. Maybe it'll all be based in Madagascar and you'll have to learn about it in super detail. But the nice part of Part A is it's all specific to a certain place or case study or idea. So you don't have to have that case study known in your head ahead of time because it's giving you everything, and you have to use that data to your advantage. And you're going to have to make lots of well-reasoned responses. For Part B, that part's pretty interesting. You're going to have 4 choices of essay questions, and you're going to pick 2 of them. That part's really nice because you should pick things that you feel more confident about. Maybe you're not feeling energy questions and you want to pick a question that's more focused on water. You get to pick that. Those questions are usually worth a lot of marks. So you have to make sure that you have enough ideas to reach that number of mark points. So in class, to help us understand those structures, we're going to do 2 mock exams, one for paper 1 and one for paper 2. They're going to be timed in class. So paper 1, like it's required, will be 1 hour. Paper 2 will be 2 hours. However, we only have 90 minutes in class, so you'll have to finish at home. You will be required to grade and revise those papers. Grading for paper 1 will start in class to make sure you really understand how to read a mark scheme. Paper 2, you'll have to grade at home. Your homework over that time period will be the revising of those papers. And you'll have plenty of time to revise, and that revision is going to be required. If you need help finding the mark schemes, they're always going to be on Blackboard. And then you will have a long period of time, including spring break, where you need to revise those papers by writing the following in order to get your points for revision. You'll have to write the correct answer. You'll have to write 1 way to remember the concepts, such as an acronym, a picture, or a flashcard. You will not receive credit unless you do both of those 2 things. Here's what's going to happen after the mock exams. We'll have review days. We're going to have 1 per topic, topics 1 through 7. The following day we'll have a 15-minute timed open note quiz. You can have notes, such as your objectives, but no concise notes will be allowed. Other things we're going to do on review days. You'll have the edible food projects, and they will occur on each review day. We'll do games, and we'll have some review practice questions. So, what are your best study materials for the IB exam? Well, you've been working hard all year to make your objectives, so you should probably study those. Hopefully, you've kept them and have been a nice, organized student. Next, you have all your nice, concise notes. And then you have all your old tests and reviews and revisions. Other things you can do to study. You could highlight some of those areas on those objectives or concise notes that you want to study the most. Have someone quiz you. You can also test yourself by rewriting out the responses for old tests. Should you really spend time rewatching or reading podcasts or PowerPoints? Probably not. Why? That's not the most condensed form of the information, and it will take a lot of time. Are flashcards worth it? No, if you make them the night before or 2 nights before the exam. Why? That's not enough time to study them, silly. Yes, it's really nice that you're writing out and practicing by writing out, but why make them flashcards? Flashcards are meant to study. So yes, if you are going to start making them well in advance of the exam. What could go on those cards? Vocab words, case studies, or key concepts. What should you do the night before the exam? Probably sleep. Don't be so stressed that you don't sleep. Sleep should be at least as best as 8 hours if possible. Don't be distracted by your phones or texts. Put them far away. Don't stay up all night studying. It's better to get more sleep. The morning of the exam. Eat a well-balanced breakfast/lunch, depending on which day. Pack some snacks and a water bottle. You'll be using your energy to the max. Good luck, you guys. I'm proud of you. You're going to do great. Let me know if you have questions.